folks. Before we go on, I just want to check on some sports stats, keep myself sharp here on the sports, and I'll use my computer and just go in here, and I'm going to check. Okay.
That's the button. Micah, you're starting to feel it.
Slaps.
Welcome to Too Much Dip, a Wash Media sports podcast. My name is Dave. I'll be steering the ship here.
Yeah, you will.
It's Dylan. He's here sometimes.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad to be here. It's going to be a great little Monday. It's been a great Monday so far. We're just going to keep it rolling, let's just say.
Let me say that we record Circling Back, which is another Wash Media podcast before this, and I feel bad that I was holding in my Mavs takes. I kind of feel like Will felt slighted.
I tried to nudge you in the direction of talking Mavs.
I know.
Luka, game winner.
I don't want to hijack Circling Back with sports
kept
takes.
it. Yeah, you kept it non-sports.
But maybe we could, you know what? Whatever. I was just checking in on the sports.
Well, we do have a sports pod, so it makes sense to save at least most of your talk for this one.
We got KJ.
What up? In the building. Sorry, that was a one-line answer. I was looking real deep at some sabermetric stat shit.
Some deep fakes.
Oh yeah, some real deep fakes.
You remember this if you remember nothing else. Deep fakes have no place in baseball.
That's true. In fact, I was looking at the baseball standings.
Where are the Rangers?
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, we're halfway through this bit, and I have no idea what's going on.
We really halfway through?
30 games in.
Oh my
Good.
goodness.
Just get it over with.
Yeah.
Micah. Hi.
Hey, Dave.
Producer Micah.
Man, what a treat it is to be here. What a treat.
Treat to have you here.
I'm really excited for today's podcast. There were some quality hoops this weekend.
The basketball you're
Really?
talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Be 47 years old.
I had a fun time tracking the sports and the basketball.
Yeah. It's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
Are you
And
enjoying
I'm excited that you saved your basketball takes from Circling Back for this, our sports podcast, Too Much Dip. What a treat.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Gotta have the double
The
bang.
double bang. He upgraded.
The very rare double bang.
Updated the board, I should say. Yeah.
Before we get into it, follow Too Much Dip on Twitter at Too Much Dip with 2 P's. Remember, 2 P's on Twitter. And on Instagram at Too Much Dip Podcast. Again, on Instagram at Too Much Dip Podcast. It's the social media stuff. You got to get it out there. That's how we market it and grow the pod, right?
Yes.
Also, subscribe and leave a review. Oh yeah, we did happy hour last week.
Seems like forever ago.
Oh yeah.
It really does. I completely forgot about that. You can go check that out on YouTube on what is it? Wash Media. That's our YouTube page.
Sounds right.
If you want to see what we look like, just see us talking, little talking head boxes.
Yeah, the
Check it out
special
there.
Too Much Dip edition of the happy hour. I got real frisky with some people in the comments. It was fun.
Yeah, you requested that some of them be blocked midstream, and we
Hashtag
be
blocked.
obliged. Yeah.
Thank you.
Then you got
Hashtag
hashtag muted.
Oh yeah,
It's
Will
true.
did hit you with
Will
the
went Tony Reale on me.
Is it because you got a little heavy with the promotion, or what happened there?
I forget.
Self-promotion?
I wasn't going to say anything, so we're not getting into that early. Not today.
Micah, do you have any reviews you want to read?
No,
Okay, good.
I don't. I removed that from the rundown. We did that for the first 5 episodes. We'll let it go.
Yeah, it looks desperate if we're still doing it at this point.
You
right?
should still leave reviews.
5
Periodically,
stars
we'll
only.
read some on the air, but not today.
I have no shame, and I will say we are desperately close to hitting some important numbers as far as the follower count is concerned. Too Much Dip on Twitter is still shy of 2K. I think we can get there, like within this week for sure.
We need your help.
But looking at the numbers for Wash Media on YouTube and Circling Back on Instagram, I think both are near like 10K, or one's near 10K, one's near 5K. And those things need to happen. So you guys need to be going to your tent revivals. Just go to the AT&T store, subscribe all of those feeds on all those phones. Go into your mom's anti-mask Facebook group and recommend all of them join all of these social media followings. Get those numbers up.
What's more in vogue right now, anti-mask or anti-vax? What's the Venn diagram look like? Let's put it that way.
I don't know what the lunar phases are in which we're about to get a total eclipse, but as the vaccine becomes available, we are going to get a full overlap of those circles.
I truly cannot wait. Can't get here soon enough.
Yes.
You know, it's funny we're talking about anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Because
Why'd you have to bring this
these
up?
are the people that I have no time for in this world. I've got time for just about everybody else except conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers, and I talk about that extensively on Micah's Read of the Week, the newsletter.
I did this.
Available wherever you find me on social media. Link in bio. Today's is lit.
You just have no patience for anti-vax.
This will only enhance his followers.
Well, I didn't mention where you can find me on social media. At Micah Weiner, MICAHWIENER. Yes.
I peeped your newsletter this morning.
Thank you.
No photo cred for your boy?
Oh,
What's
sorry.
going on there?
Well, at the end of the newsletter, I even had a teaser inside of the newsletter. As you saw there, it said there were notes on Dame Lillard and other things, and also the photo that you must see. And I should have had tipped you. I'm sorry.
You will be hearing from our company lawyer, which is he's sitting across from you right now. So, how you feel about that? You won't be.
Are you going to cancel Micah's Read of the Week, the newsletter?
I'll probably let this one slide.
Okay, I apologize.
Did you give photo cred to the person who took the AOC photo you posted in your newsletter?
I did not. That was from the DNC.
Maybe about 6 months from releasing
Public
your own
domain.
sangria or something.
Anything is possible, fam. But you got to check it out, and you can see that viral photo.
I got some bad news. We have a segment we normally do here. A lot of people like it.
Smoke some, bitch.
I don't think anybody smoked anything, Pitch.
No, I didn't. I certainly didn't.
I
smoke
certainly
anything.
did not. KJ?
I did, but nothing that's worth writing home about. You know, I did a little reverse sear steak action. Didn't throw it out there.
Okay.
And did a little bone-in pork chop action, and that was quite exquisite. But I mixed that with like baked beans, and then did some apples on the side. And it was just too much brown. It was not photogenic, so nothing public.
I was going to say, I didn't see anything on the gram from you.
Yeah, it wasn't gram-worthy, but it was delicious.
It was steak night at our crib last night, but no smoke involved.
Did you see what Will did, that Wagyu?
Boy.
I did not.
You follow Meat Smokers Only on IG?
Of course I do.
I posted it. That was the steak from a couple of days ago.
Oh,
Or
yes.
Actually, I think it was from Friday.
Yes.
I think Will had a couple vizzies at the pool and then decided to parlay that
He did.
into
We
a
actually had
$70
Vizzies
steak
together at the
purchase.
pool, and then he was like, I'm going to go flex and go to Central Market and buy meat that I shouldn't buy. He did. He delivered.
What was the cut he was working with?
I think he's a filet boy, which,
Oh, okay.
you know, I could take it or leave it, but shouts to Will DeFreeze.
Execution was great.
I got a big porterhouse, and it was delightful.
Okay. Can't hate that. I really think not to go back to the Wednesday live streams, but at some point in the future, we need to throw down amongst ourselves and let the people vote on it, or let somebody vote on it, because Will entered the game heavy with that steak shot.
I agree. You guys have never done that, huh?
What? Exactly.
A cook-off between the host of the
No.
Wash Media personalities.
We haven't.
No, we should. Would it be based on just looks alone, aesthetics of the steak, or are we going to do like a taste test?
I mean, it's got to be aesthetics only. That's what we go for the listeners.
Yeah,
The backers.
It's only
are out there.
fair.
that's true. We can't switch up the criteria now.
Yeah.
I'd be down to do that. I think people are clamoring for that.
I can do a steak. People know that about me.
Spaghetti and meatballs, that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, forget that. But steak, yeah, I can knock a steak out of the park.
Okay. You know what we can knock out of the park?
Just about Hawthorne.
Why don't you give us a first-time sponsor alert?
Wow, this is big news
This
for
is,
Too Much
this is
Dip.
huge for TMD.
First-time sponsor alert. I use a
Boom,
different
boom,
inflection
boom,
for
boom.
this podcast.
Just
Dave.
a low.
Yeah.
No more big text.
First-time new sponsor alert.
Question.
It was electric.
We get little text.
First
over here on Too
time
Much Dip.
new sponsor alert.
Hawthorne. You still wearing polo blue from your high school girlfriend, Micah? Are
No.
you? Answer the question.
I'm not.
You ever walked into Sephora to get cologne and, you know, were overwhelmed by all the choices? Just there's too many options.
Too
right?
much.
You ever wear Old Spice and girls think you smell like their dad?
I've never done that.
Let me
no.
tell you
This
what.
isn't all for Micah, but I'm looking at you.
Let me tell you why Hawthorne is great for a guy like me. I don't know the first thing about buying cologne. I don't. If I go in one of those stores and I walk around, I'm just totally lost. You know, I don't know what's quality, what smells good. So for Hawthorne, they tailor your scent just for you. You take a little online quiz, takes a couple of minutes.
The quiz is fun.
It's fun. It asks you like what kind of stuff you're into, and it tailors your cologne exactly for you.
It's
It's
custom.
fantastic.
Custom fitted.
Yes.
The
it
quiz,
is.
like you said, it's a quick quiz. It's easy. I
So-
like it. I've got the work and the play.
They sent me two, a work and a play. They both smell great. Sometimes I wear the work like to play, which you don't think anyone's
Oh,
doing that.
damn.
Yeah, I do a little crossover on.
Do you
them.
ever do the play when you're at work, just a little extra flirty?
You'll find out.
Dude,
Look.
I've always said you play too much.
Yeah, it smells great. The packaging is awesome. It looks very good. We love Hawthorne.
We do like Hawthorne.
I'm a big fan of the body wash and the deodorant. I'm currently rocking the deodorant now. Tremendous product.
See,
Aluminum free. I really like it.
You zigged when I zagged. I went with the face wash, and as all those from the Houston rap scene, shout out to Big Mo. I'm a bar baby.
Okay.
So the soap
Everybody
bar,
knew that about you.
The soap bar they sent is exquisite.
But remember, you take a quick 2-minute quiz. Hawthorne tells you which colognes are best for you. I don't know why Dave's laughing right now.
I'm still laughing at the bar baby.
One for work and one for play, as we said. It's risk-free shipping and free returns. Check out Hawthorne at hawthorne.co. That's Hawthorne with an E, and use our code BANG to get 10% off your first purchase. That's HAWTHORNE.co, and use code BANG.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Just
to
bang.
get
It is
10% off
It
your
is good.
purchase. Hawthorne.co.
Fantastic.
Good stuff.
Yes, let's go.
Fantastic. Nobody does ad reads like TMT.
Dude, no one's doing Mike Breen in a read.
I hope that's okay.
Have Mike Breen and Big Mo ever been mentioned within 30 seconds of each other?
No way. There's no way. Hey, Randy, the reason I was laughing when you were doing that read is because the image. I don't know where you. Okay.
What?
It wasn't from the Ohio's for Lovers like music video, or
No, it was just it didn't look like it was the most megapixels or whatever.
gotcha.
Way to go, Randy.
All right, let's talk puck.
Turn it up.
It's time to talk.
No
puck.
one thought we were going to lead off with puck talk,
Yeah.
but we have to
Yeah.
because I think the meat of this podcast, follow meat smokers only,
Yeah.
is going to be b-ball.
Does that make the
I call it b-ball now.
These late puck drops, is that what you call them when you start a hockey game? Puck drops?
Yes.
I'm kind of into the late games, but I can't stay awake. I went to sleep when the Stars were down 1-3, thinking they were just toast, and woke up and it was very much not 1-3 at the end of the game.
Yeah, so the Stars, of course, were down. They were down 3-0 at one point against Calgary, Game 6, in an elimination game for the Flames, and proceeded to ring off 7 unanswered.
Yeah, that's
which
a lot.
is not what you want to see.
No.
Anytime unanswered is in the picture, like something bad happened, and it was just a complete implosion. They switched goaltenders twice. It was just bad. It was an onslaught. We had all sorts of chaos going on, but we're already, dude. The Stars, like 2 days later, are already playing the Avs in the second round, which no turnaround, and they are up 1-0 on the Avalanche.
which they were down. I mean, they were what do you call it? Goal and a half dogs going into the game.
Yeah.
So to come out 5-3, and they led the game 3-1 at a point, or maybe
Most dangerous lead in sports, right?
some will say.
Do you guys have a bet going with intern Klein, noted
Dave
Avs
does.
fan?
Dave does.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where it's like, should the Stars lose, then I owe him a round of golf. But should they win, I drive up to Dallas and just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
It's a weird bet.
it is.
Actually, it's just a golf thing. On both
Okay.
accounts.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Sounds fun though.
He would pummel me. He's a lot bigger than me. I don't know if you've noticed that.
So Stars are up 1-0. They play again tonight?
Game 2 tonight.
Okay.
Puck drop, 8:45 Central Time, CST.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like that, but I'm not going to be upset about it. Every night I'm redlining my adrenal glands. Every night. And I'm maxing them out. I'm coming down hard, having trouble sleeping, just thinking about the sports, checking in on the sports, and
You wake up and make sure that the score that you remember from the night before holds true the next morning. And yeah,
I had that
I
moment.
know that. I know that phase. It's fun, man.
So the Mavs were
I'm happy for you guys.
2:30 yesterday, and I had to cancel a tea time with Danny Reggs, Jack Hammer. We had a 10:50 at Wolf Dancer, and I was like, dude, I can't. I'm not gonna get home till like 4. I told him. He understood. I was like, I got to ride this wave, man. It's not often you get.
Thank God you did.
Can you imagine? That would if I had missed that. If I didn't see that game live, I would have never forgiven myself.
The 9 o'clock start and the way that the Stars have played these games, I've got to fully confess, and I texted you about it. Thursday night's game was the Calgary game. I was very casually paying attention. I tuned in the beginning. It got up 2-0 and then 3-0, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go do something else, drop into Verdansk, pull up my phone. I'm like, all right, let me hop off, get the kid to bed, do all that stuff, and it was tied up. I'm like, oh, shit. Wash my face, use Hawthorne, shouts, get in bed. It was like 6-3. And I'm like, what the hell is happening in this game? Didn't watch a second of it. But fast forward to Saturday night, and I was all geeked up for it. So that payoff of a 9:30 start or 9 o'clock start like that, then you're hooked even more.
Yeah. I feel like I would like a little bit more downtime between games.
Yeah.
Just to have like a night where like I acknowledge my wife and my dog. But like it's full throttle. And I'm trying to think like what other teams have 2 sporting interests right now in the playoffs.
Oh. I'm mostly trying to make sure I know what hockey teams are still involved. Vegas, Vancouver, Boston, Tampa, Philly, and why none of those are
Boston.
Philly.
Celtics.
Philly just got bounced. Boston's the only
Boston.
one. Yeah, and Boston's doing well. So yeah.
Oh, and they're Eastern, so that's those late puck drops.
So yeah, I guess Boston feels that same way, but they don't know shit about winning in Boston. Like, what have they won recently in that city?
Trash town.
Since you mentioned Vegas,
No,
though,
I'm kidding.
my Golden Knights, I mean, they're just out there just skating the little dicks off.
You watched this though.
I watched most of it.
Yeah.
I fell asleep at 4-0, I believe. They finished 5-0, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they just put it to Calgary. Or was it
Vancouver.
Calgary? Vancouver.
Yeah,
Right.
One of the Canadian teams.
Yeah, you were
Some Canadian team
Some
that
Canadian team.
in a Canadian city none of us will
Vancouver.
ever visit.
The Canucks. They put it to the Canucks.
The guy, man, I wish Brett was here because I think he knows a ton about this dude. But Nathan McKinnon, center for the Avs,
Yeah.
that dude scares the shit out of me. He is on point. He is accurate. He is fast. He's also just a stud. Look at this. I mean, this guy's got it.
Him and the oddly named Kel McCarr, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. They're defensemen. 2 young guys. I think one's like 23, one's 21. Naturally, both Canadians on the Avalanche, what we're talking about here. I don't know what the feeling is to have 2 superstars on a hockey team of that age, but I feel like it's about as close to what we feel like we have in Dallas with Luka and KP. So for Colorado to feel that way and to do what they're doing, they're heavily favored in this series. So you got to think if for some reason the little Stars pull out game 2, that's going to be making some waves.
You calling them the Little Stars now?
You know, relative to how much of a dog they are in this series.
I like it.
Yeah, the Stars did not score goals until they got into the playoffs.
And now
Let's
they
be
just
clear.
can't stop.
Now they just cannot stop. 12 in their last 2, I think.
It's a lot of goals.
Yeah, and Colorado's goaltender went out with what, like in the first period, right?
Yeah,
I don't
very
know
early. Very
what that
early.
was.
He came back. Well, was it his goal? Whoever was came back to the bench. I know
He did
Eric
come back to the
Johnson
bench.
came back to the bench late, but he did not look good even when he was making his way to the end of the bench. So, I mean, you never want to root for an injury or win that way, but when you're the underdog in a series like this and your team's been playing like absolute shit, you will take any win any which way you can. And if it comes like at the heels of 12 goals over 2 games, like, yeah, we're on board with that.
Okay. We got what's going on out there? Somebody doing some. We knocking down a load-bearing wall.
It's the hockey fans celebrating our hockey talk right off the top and banging on the glass.
That's puck talk. Now let's get to what everybody wants to talk about. On here it's dubbed. What is this? Oh, LukaMania.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
How horny is Dave?
Wow.
How H am I?
You're 5 out of 5 cakes. I gotta think.
I am.
What's the maximum cake? That's what you are.
That's the maximum amount of cake. I don't know how many eggplants Micah is. Micah's a disinterested Mavs fan right now.
Well, I'm not a Mavs fan.
Unaffiliated Mavs fan.
I'm a Spurs fan, and for a minute there after that shot, I thought, am I a Mavs fan for life now?
MFFL.
Like, is now the time where I switch allegiances? And then I realized I can't.
That's okay.
I've always been a Spurs guy. Micah is as well. I find myself pulling for the Mavs. That's probably because
They're much
Dave
more
and
likable than the Rockets as far as other teams
Oh,
in
yeah.
Texas. If I'm going to pick a backup team,
Luka is a really easy guy to get behind.
he is. He is.
He's very likable and just unbelievable. So
I think he's likable now. I think in about 2 to 3 years, he's gonna be the target of a lot of sports fans because he has some tendencies that like play okay when you're like in your first or second year in the league. A lot of John at the officials, a lot of demonstrative, hand stuff. And I think as that wears on and as he wins and dominates, people are gonna, they're gonna rebel. Not me. I'm in no matter what. But right now, I'm just riding that wave.
I mean, there's not even Steph Curry got that same backlash of overtime. Like those who weren't on the Golden State bandwagon were, calling him a crybaby, and he would whine and complain and then shit talk. I get a lot of that from like Rockets fans that were anti Steph Curry, who a lot of people would have said was one of the most likable superstars in quite some time. So to see Luka beginning to, approach that level of popularity and with some of these big nut shots,
dude,
it's like watching your favorite band, get really, really big, and you're like, oh shit.
yeah, I'm pretty jealous, if I'm being honest, of you guys. You got that dude on your team.
It's crazy that we went from Dirk, and then they had one season of overlap where they played together, and then it's just like now, even in his second year, he was probably a top 15 player in the league, and now he's arguably top 5.
Well, it's still his second year.
Well, the break
is crazy.
Oh, yeah. I've been watching a lot of Kenny the Jet.
That's the Kenny Smith argument.
He's right. I like that theory a lot. The 3 months off, like he had a lot. Because he touted that for his development as a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
But the TNT crew, we could do an entire podcast on.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. We haven't even gotten into the game. Of course, I was watching that thing, and I was. They were down 21 in the second. And I was like, okay, Luka was hurt. He's got the ankle thing. Comes back in. He doesn't look good. And as they start to cut into it, I'm like, dude, we just need to get this to single digits going into the half, which I think, they get it to 11, 10 or 11? They were right around there. Come out in the third and just go loco. Everybody, dude, like Hardaway shows up. Curry shows up. Boban put it in. He's like the most efficient player in the league right now. Like 16 minutes, what did he put up? 10 points or something?
The Mavericks,
like 7 boards.
They may not be as explosive as like the prime Splash Brother Warriors, but they are right there. I mean,
Efficiency
wise, yeah.
they can get hot in a hurry and make a 10, 15, 20-point lead disappear fast.
So there's a guy on the team that is having just an awful series on the offensive end that a lot of people probably don't know, Maxi Kleber.
Oh, yeah.
Kleber. He's from Dirk's hometown. He's German. He's a third-year player. He's a good defensive player. You probably saw him. He had a couple big blocks last night.
He missed several threes down the stretch.
He's like 1 of 16 in the playoffs. And he's normally like almost a 40% three-point shooter. So the fact that they're doing this without him, and he's clearly like passing up on shots, his shot looks flat. He's got the yips a little bit.
He's done everything you could ask for him outside of that, though.
Yeah, he's got to guard Kawhi.
Yeah.
And Kawhi has made him look silly on more than one occasion, but that's because Kawhi's
Kawhi. Yeah.
I think the 3 best players in the league, LeBron, I might say Harden, Kawhi, and Luka, LeBron. Those are my top 4.
This year. Yeah. With no KD, no Steph involved.
Giannis in there too, but like
You're not going to throw Dame in there as well as he's playing this postseason?
That's fair. He was the bubble MVP. Is that a real thing, by the way? Is that
It,
like the
it
BMF
was the thing,
belt?
yeah. Sort of.
What was that about?
That at least the BMF belt gets defended. Did you know there's 401 inductees in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame? 76 players who've won 3 NBA titles and 46 who have been named league MVP. But there's only 3 who have been a part of the most exclusive club in basketball, the Mike Bream Double Bang Club. Shouts to
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Shouts to Roger Sherman
He was so
at the
excited.
Ringer for this take. Do you remember any of the other 2?
I know. I thought there was
One
only
is
other
very
one.
famous, and then one is I do not remember.
It is Steph Curry from about 40 feet over the Rockets. I'm sorry,
It
over
was
the
against
Thunder.
Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Over Russ in the conference finals, right?
It was a regular season game, actually.
was it?
Yeah. But it was 37 feet, hitting his 12th three-pointer of the game and his first double bang.
Okay, what was the third?
The second one was Eric Gordon versus the Lakers in a January game in
What a
2019.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you?
That cheapens it.
It's a mistake.
Other than that, I respect it.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
So,
Double bang should be reserved for playoffs only. Can I say that?
yeah, I'm with you there.
Somebody alert Mike
Talk
Breen.
to Mike. It's not on us, man.
I'm not one to tell him how to do his job, but I just feel like and it's coming out natural. He doesn't have a plan. It's not like Jim Nance.
He's
He's
gotta
not
be-
like sitting there with a pre-written down double bang. He's just got a notepad.
So Luka's line on Sunday was 43 points, 17 rebounds, 13 assists. And much has been made about the list of other people who have done a 40-point triple-double in the playoffs, include Oscar Robertson. Ooh, I'm going to just blur it because we did this back and forth yesterday. Robinson.
It's Robertson.
Okay, Robertson. I'm kidding.
No,
We went back and forth
We
for
went
like
back
10
there
minutes.
we're in Verdansk, just camping, like trying
Doing
to figure it out.
trying to figure it out. But
That's exactly what it was.
the Big O, and then Charles Barkley is the only other person to have a 40-point
Championship Chuck,
triple-double.
Oh man.
as he's coined himself now.
However, the only other person to have a 40-point playoff game and then hit the game-winning shot is Michael Jordan, who hit it in the Eastern Conference Finals in '89, and that's the shot where he jumps up, pumps his fist. You see the guy fall down against
Greg
the Cavs.
Greg
Yes,
Elo.
there you go. Have you watched that
Against the
shot
Cavs.
recently?
On the last Dance was the last
Yeah.
time I saw it. Yeah.
I'm going to receive all of the ats and hate for saying, well, yes, that was a much more iconic shot. Definitely not more difficult.
I think I agree with that. I mean, Luka took like one of the more low percentage shots you can take.
Yeah.
The step back from 35 feet.
The underrated thing about that, there were less, like 3.6, 3.7 seconds, whatever it is. He crossed over twice and stepped back in that amount of time. It was an unbelievable move.
Is this Luka's he's made it on the scene moment? Because that was Michael Jordan's against the
Yeah.
Cavs. That shot. That was
That's
like,
true.
okay, he's arrived.
Probably.
This might be Luka's moment.
I think-
that we'll look back on. Like, okay, this is where he kind of became like
Yeah.
the guy.
So this is a thing. It's like people who follow the Mavs, who followed Luka in the league, they knew Luka was at a minimum a top 10 player. MVP candidate, probably not the MVP for the whole year, but they knew he had it in him. And the fact that he's 21, I think this is a lot of people's like first exposure to him, like at least seeing him do it in a big moment. Obviously, it's his first playoff series. He's been sick the entire – I mean, he was out with that ankle injury last game after, trying to come back. But before that, I mean, I think he already has 3 triple-doubles in this series through 4 games, which is absurd. 2 or 3?
2.
2?
2 back-to-back, and then he was –
Even in his injury game, he was 13, 10, and 10. I think.
yeah. He was flirting with one, 11, 9, and 7.
Okay. But to answer your question, yeah, I think that puts him up there with Dame, Harden, all those guys who hit big shots. And,
Oh, no, that's a fucking playoff P's stats. My bad. You're right. 13, 10, 10.
Ooh, put some
Ouch.
respect on his name, dude. Dude, playoff P, I'm starting to actually feel bad for the guy.
He's
'cause
Not me.
He's getting skewered.
He
man.
is having one of the worst. He's having the worst series of any star like since. I mean, maybe Embiid and getting swept.
At least Embiid played well in some of those games.
Yeah.
Playoff P is laying an egg, and it is embarrassing.
He put up 27 in game 1, and after that he's had 14, 10, and 2 in the second game, 11, 9, and 7, which, flirting with the triple-double there, but that's not what you expect out of a shooter like that who's playing 38 minutes, and he went 3 for 16 from the floor, 1 for 8 from the three-point line, and then 9 points in the last game. Going into this series and just in general, I always liked Paul George. I don't know if it was like him coming back from that injury or what. Like I've always been like a kind of a fan, but after watching his post-game comments yesterday, pointing out that it was a low percentage shot, but instead of saying it was a low percentage shot, all he could say was that was a bad shot that Luka took. But that story won't be told because he made it. And then when talking about his slump, he's like, yeah, well, the defense isn't that good. I just, I got to make some shots and shoot over some of these smaller guys inside.
Did he say that about Luka's shot, that it was a bad
He
shot?
verbatim said it was a bad shot.
He said that when Dame sent him home when he was on the Thunder last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was. He said, it's a bad shot.
Is that inaccurate, though? I mean, was he 5 feet beyond the 3-point line?
Yeah, and I mean, in a step back, I think,
Right.
and you only needed, you needed what?
He had
1 point.
They had what, like
2 points to win?
4 seconds-ish?
3.7, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he created enough space.
You got to take what they give you, obviously. So maybe
If
that's all
Kawhi
he
doesn't
had.
switch there and Kawhi's on him, I doubt he takes that shot. He probably tries to get to the rack, but we'll never know. I don't understand. I still don't understand what Reggie Jackson was doing on him. I guess that's the proper move to switch, but I feel like if you're Doc Rivers, you say no matter what, Kawhi, you're
Sure.
best defender in the league. You can take Luka. Although, dude, I mean, Luka had already cooked them. Even if Luka missed that shot, I think that still would have been his arrival game because they were down. Like I said, they were down 21 at one point. He basically willed them back to it.
Did you see that clip of him before they were drawing up the play in the timeout in the sideline, whenever he was sitting in the chair flipping a water bottle?
Just cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously a great sign. Just looks
How's that
totally
going to play if he misses, though?
looks totally unbothered. I don't know.
Just not listening to his coach.
Exactly.
He's just doing TikTok videos.
Which that should prove all of the idiots that would take that route and talk shit about that, the whole coach get off your knee, pay attention, get in the game attitude about shit, and be like, shut the hell up. The guy's clearly knows what he's doing. He knows what's asked of him, and he can fucking do it. And he showed everybody.
Dude, sneaky shouts, major shouts. Trey Burke.
Yep. Thank you for saying that. I
Dude,
forgot
Trey
about
Burke. That's a guy who the 76ers had no use for.
The Mavs had no use for. Hell.
Yeah, I don't know what he's done between. They got him in that trade for Porzingis, right? He came over with the Knicks with KP, Hardaway, and Trey Burke, and he played 20 games with the Mavs last year. But he's a different player, and he's clearly the fastest guy on the court, and he finishes.
Yes. I mean, his defense is not great, so they've got to get him off the court whenever it comes down to it because they were Lou Williams. His big game came at the hands of Trey Burke's defense, basically. But I will say that having somebody like that reminds me a lot of what this is still niche Mavs talk, but a lot of what you saw in 2011 with JJ Barea, or Jet would be too, he's a starter, but with Barea off the bench, basically. But to have KP not playing and to get 23 out of THJ and get 25 out of Trey Burke, that's you put that on coaching, you put it on depth, whatever. But when you look around the league and you're like, what other teams have you can go through your roster and get that? The Rockets play 8 guys, and they do it really well. The Lakers, you can't name anyone after their top 4.
Caruso. And everybody only knows him because he's a balding white dude who can dunk.
And he's swole as shit.
He really is.
But I'm not going to say anything. I may or may not have been looking at the head-to-head series of the Jazz and the Mavs on this year, but I'm not going to look too far ahead. We'll see.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm not going to be disappointed if the Mavs don't win this series. I'll be like, dude, that's a bummer, but to win 2 games against this team, how good they are defensively, and for Luka to just arrive, like Dylan said, I'm happy. And KP, even though KP didn't play yesterday, he's looked awesome the entire series. And they showed some toughness. That's important. In Game 3, the Clippers clearly made it physical. You had KP getting in somebody's face.
Oh yeah, he helped in there. I will take this moment not to apologize to absolutely anyone for my takes of saying not only would the Mavs be swept, but Luka couldn't hit a last-second step-back 3 against the Clippers because he shot so poorly against them. So maybe I said it, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't know what you heard. What I will say is that KP's performance and Markieff Morris's, or is Marcus Morris in this, Marcus Morris's performance in this series has been exactly what we expected. He's a piece of shit. Morris, I'm speaking of. And Montrezl Harrell is what we thought of him. I don't even know if we want to get into that whole debacle.
Well, I was going to say, I thought you were apologizing for calling me a bitch-ass white boy before we did this pod.
I earned that for the lacrosse comment. You're right.
Yeah, dude, that was that whole thing was weird. the apology and like how they handled it on the broadcast, I don't think Luka cared.
No.
Like Luka's heard worse. I mean, anyone who's played pickup basketball or played basketball at any AAU ball or high school ball, like shit gets wild out there.
Well, it's pretty clear that Luka isn't a bitch-ass white boy. Also, this is a factually incorrect take.
The thing about that whole situation that like I really hope people don't. There's a lot of people, a lot of grifters that will take that and utilize it and try to make it a wedge issue. Like let's say like the Clay Travises of the world who want to take that up and ride for Luka, and it's going to make people not like Luka just because the people are already getting sick of Bill Simmons riding Luka, right? It's like don't tie Luka into this. He's not asking for this. He's just going out and balling.
Leave my man's out of this.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is a great white hope.
And
I think that you've got, if you're Luka and you've been a pro since 13, like, you know how many times he's probably gone to the court and heard in some like Eastern European accent something about his mom probably who dropped him off at the game or whatever, and her looks or whatever. Like,
what are you
on
saying
the
about
court.
his mom?
I'm saying that,
She's very gorgeous to you.
she's a professional and a human being. She's probably got a great attitude.
Is she a snack?
His dad's.
Are y'all still doing snack? Is that a bit you're doing?
You can do that.
Zach never goes out of style.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
that's
checking.
fair game.
I've never seen Luka's mom. I'm just asking.
It's worth a Google.
You've never seen his mom?
No?
Okay. Well,
Oh,
Randy.
Google
No,
Luka's
don't.
mom.
Randy's sneaky wearing a Margaritaville hat today.
A
Margaritaville White Sox
Yeah.
collabo. What?
How niche?
How did this go unnoticed? Yeah, the Montrezl Harrell thing. Montrezl Harrell's a dude I want on my team. He has no answer for Boban, though. Boban just gets what he wants around the goal. But that whole thing, I mean, dude, who cares? No one's talking about Seth Curry getting the and one on Paul George. And what did he say?
Like take that
Punk-
bitch or something, or punk ass bitch.
Something.
Damn.
Which,
Boy, that's a
yikes.
TMZ delight.
Dude,
there.
are these things only getting noticed because they're in a bubble and there's no crowd noise to drown
Probably.
everything out?
Probably.
I mean, you
Yeah.
got to think like punk ass or bitch ass white boy. This is not the first time that's happened on an NBA
No.
court. You know what I mean?
No.
But now that like we can actually hear them, and then you pair that with like the lip reading part of it, it's like, oh
We
yeah,
got
that's what he
John
said.
Boy. We got John Boys now who can do like the
Yeah.
rip leading. Rip leading?
Yeah, I like rip leading.
That's good too.
Rip leading with John Boy.
So that was another thing, like, hitting that shot, which is, an all-time playoff shot for the Mavs in the league history, honestly, and having no fans and having like the digital fans in the background, and like some of them were clearly on a delay.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had like one
Yeah.
person doing the surrender cobra, but you didn't see any Mavs fans in it like reacting. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
There's I think it's Brad Townsend from Dallas Morning News who posted a clip because I think he was on site. I don't know how many shots you've seen of the other side of the bubble, the dark side of the bubble, if you will, because we obviously see from the press side towards the digital fans and the teams. But on the other side, you've got just kind of a dark area with bleachers or stadium seats and then some empty rows. And he's videoing from the sideline or from that side, and there's a guy who's clearly riding for the Clippers.
Oh,
And he like,
is this Brad Townsend's video?
yes,
I saw this.
He hikes up his pants, and he's like leaning forward, edge of his seats, and this guy spikes like a 1 liter Dasani on the ground. I'm like,
Dude, before
you've
it
got to be
even-
the only person reacting off to the side.
Well,
Chill out, man.
I saw, so that's like all press right there,
Yeah.
right? They're not supposed to react technically. Like if you're a member of the press, you got to, you got to be a professional journalist guy. But yeah, this dude, I don't know if he had money on it or what, but before the ball even goes in the hoop, like he knew. That reminded me of the Dame shot over the Rockets to send them packing, the Dwight Howard Rockets. When you had that dude who was recording it from courtside, and you just see it like from 5 feet away. That was sick. I don't know. I had fun yesterday.
Is that the one that gave us a shot of Dame looking into the camera while he's being mauled by like 1,000
that was
people?
the one over Paul George.
Okay.
So he's sent 2 teams home.
Yeah.
Like that.
He's a killer, man.
He is. He's a verified killer. Luka's a killer. I meant to tweet that. Damn it. Never too late.
Did you know that Luka Doncic's mother, Mirjam, is a former model,
Yep.
beauty salon owner,
I did.
and is active on social media? She was also a hurdler and dancer.
Talented family.
What kind of dancing?
It does not say, but
I'm just saying she's a good person.
it
hard to
seems
say.
like
Just
it.
a great mom.
The first article, when you type in Luka's mom, the headline reads,
She's got it going on.
Luka Doncic's mom is the real MVP of his basketball journey.
Oh,
Isn't that nice?
Oh.
That's KD's mom. You the real MVP.
One innovation I want from the NBA, from ESPN, from TNT, I need commentator cam, like the UFC does. Whenever there's a knockout, and they'll show like Rogan and everybody and Dom Cruz reacting to it.
Okay.
I'd love to see Breen. It doesn't have to be right then. It can be later on. I want to see Breen. I want to see Gundy.
yes.
I want to see Jackson. I want to see them throwing their headphones, going nuts, because I'm sure they were.
I want to see what a double bang looks like.
Nobody knows. It's only happened 3 times per sources.
I'd watch a Doris Burke reaction cam for sure.
Is she the best?
She is hands down the best. Yes.
I really enjoy her work. The game before, which I guess that was Philly and
Boston.
One of the worst series of all time. She was great.
She can go from sideline, booth, play-by-play. She's on color commentary. She's doing it all as you would. Like, you put Mark Jackson on the sideline to interview somebody, and it's going to be trash.
Ooh, that's not good.
Like, I don't want to see Mike Van Gundy on the sideline talking to Pop. Like, it's not going to work.
This whole setup they've got now with the long mic, they got to just axe it, man.
It looks so funny.
It's so bad. And this poor dude who I guess is new to the TNT crew that Shaq dismissed after game 1 or game 2.
Yeah, Shaq is just killing that guy.
Shaq's roasting this guy.
Is it Jared Goldberg or something?
Yeah, and he goes Greenberg, Goldberg. Like, I was like, I don't know if he could do that, but
Yeah, he's getting roasted. Yeah, if you want to talk about that Philly series real quick, Dan Regester just sent me a text confirming that they have fired their coach and that they may hire the guy from Villanova, Jay Wright. He's going to be the leader there. A lot of questions in Philadelphia. The Sixers had the most 1-2-3 Cancun just quit I've seen in a long time yesterday, down 3-0. Boston went on like a 12-0 run to end the third quarter, and Philly just didn't show up after that. It was perfect. I love a 1-2-3 Cancun. It's one of my favorite things.
I don't know.
This is a new phrase.
No,
to me.
I know what you're saying.
This is apparently it goes back to Nick Van Exel when he was on the Lakers, and they were about to get swept, and he broke the huddle.
Time?
Like everybody, it's like all right, everybody in. He just goes 1-2-3 Cancun.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, just
Gotcha.
I got you. That's pretty
and
good.
that we had some of that yesterday.
Sneaky, one of my favorite Mavs of all time, Nick Van Exel.
I thought the long socks look was good. It definitely does not translate to like playing anything in Texas. I tried that once and it was not good.
How much of that is because of the
Hell to rock
hip
like
hop
Van Exel.
lyric? Yeah.
The hip in the music song, probably all of it actually, because it was the first time a Mav had been shouted out, and it was Jay-Z doing it on a Beyonce track. I was just like, oh, I'm like, dude, the Mavs are on the big stage now. That was a fun team. What else, dude? The Jazz. Donovan Mitchell went for 51 last night. I don't know if you stayed up for that. That was sick.
I did. That was some
He's
good
up there.
basketball.
He's in the conversation. People like Shaq. Hey, we didn't even talk about this. Shaq was kind of critical, not critical, but he was like, hey, temper your expectations on Luka, or don't be so excited. If you're going to be this excited for Luka, you got to be excited for these other guys. The whole thing is Luka's 21. That's it.
Right.
And he doesn't get enough credit for being like a specimen, a 6'7" point guard. He towered over
He's
Montrezl
huge.
Harrell.
He's a big dude.
He's huge, and the fact that he moves like that, he's not the most athletic, but he can do whatever he wants. And the fact that he's 21, I think that's why people are pretty excited about it.
And he's the point guard. Everything is running through him.
Yeah.
But Donovan Mitchell went for 51. Jamal Murray went for 50 in a very exciting game. The Jazz have
What'd
won
Michael
3 in a
Porter do?
Not much. They finally figured out that he is the biggest defensive liability in the entire league, and he's not playing crunch time minutes anymore. Nuggets have lost 3 in a row after winning game 1 in overtime. Utah looks pretty damn good. Utah's the better team, pretty clearly here.
With Mike Conley being out, it's pretty impressive to see what they're able to do, I would say, because Donovan Mitchell's been waiting to be like the guy in the backcourt, and Mike Conley was coming off the bench anyway, but he was kind of tethered to Ricky Rubio for years, and it's been budding this way. As much as we want to talk shit about Rudy Gobert, like he's an absolute force defensively. Like you're not going to take anything down the lane. He's a traditional center in that regard. He's not stepping out to shoot that many threes or anything crazy like that, but he is long and athletic and can cover almost any mid-range shot all the way to the goal. So I will be interested to see how it plays against the Mavs if we got to that point. But if it's not the Mavs, I would say they're going to struggle with somebody who's like a team like the Rockets. I think would cook the Jazz because they don't have any wings. They're all points.
That's a fun series.
Yeah.
I think it would be the Clippers. I think they get the winner.
Yeah. I'm saying like they'd be happy to be the Clippers or the Mavericks.
Right.
But I'm saying if it were somebody like the Rockets, would not match up well for the Jazz.
Conley did play yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
he's back in the bubble.
Yeah. He
But he
actually had a pretty
missed
good
the first 2 games.
Yeah,
I
he
think.
did. What was it? Birth of a child?
Yes.
Birth of a
second
child.
I want to say.
Congratulations to the Conley family.
Big shouts.
Big shouts. I did not watch any of the Raptors series.
You didn't miss much.
I wish I knew more about that Raptors team outside of like Fred VanVleet and Nick Nurse.
Yep.
But
They're clicking. They're really rolling. But to be fair, the Brooklyn team that showed up to the bubble is a G League team. They're trash
For sure.
And everybody's waiting for next year there. Kyle Lowry got hurt in Game 4.
Mm-hmm.
He underwent an MRI. I think they said it was an ankle. So we'll see what happens there.
It is worth respecting the fact that they're still that good after you lose the #1 player in the league last year. Take him off your team, and they're still sweeping teams in the first round of the next year. And come on.
Ankle sprain for Lowry.
hey, this Pop to Brooklyn rumor, that's not – why would he do that? That's not a thing, right? Pop's old, isn't he?
He is old.
And why the hell would he go to Brooklyn?
Well, because they have 2 very good players coming next season.
Yeah, 'cause they could
And-
be a threat
Really?
next year.
That's going on up there?
And Sean Marks, that's the guy. He used to play for the Spurs and then was an assistant and was in the front office, is now the general manager of Brooklyn. So that's where a lot of the rumors come from, that he might be able to get Pop to go work for, Pop to go do the big city thing for a year or 2. Although Pop is also supposed to coach the Olympic team next year, so nobody knows how the calendar is going to work out. There's a lot of questions there.
Weird to say, but as a Mavs fan who's, we've been tied to the Spurs for 20 years, don't really want to live in a world where Pop doesn't coach the Spurs. It's always fun. I mean, even anytime he could sit Duncan and Parker and Ginobili, and they would still roll out a competitive team that would often beat full-strength Mavs teams. And it was infuriating, but goddamn, I respected it.
He is a hell of a basketball coach.
I've come around on him over the years for sure.
Big social justice guy, too. Might be a bigger platform being in Brooklyn.
That's the other reason that these rumors kind of pick up steam, is that, imagine what the platform he could have in the world's
He's not
biggest city.
not moving across the country for that reason. Just to have a bigger platform. His platform
It seems
big enough
I
already.
tend to agree with you.
He strikes me as the type who would want to retire.
Yeah,
Spur.
I mean, it still seems far-fetched. Don't get me wrong.
Although, I mean, the Spurs, I don't know what the Spurs' future looks like. DeRozan, is Aldridge around next year?
Yeah, he's still under
He's
contract,
absolutely washed, right?
basically.
Yeah.
Hey, the notes here reflect a KJ's Bubble Baddie of the Week.
Oh, we have a sounder for this?
Let's see. Let's just.
There's got to be
mash.
one you can find, Dave.
Pick one and something.
This will only enhance his
Her.
followers.
Her fault.
Or her follower count. So I'm going to try to do, as we always do, way too much in a very short bit of time here, because there is a lot of backstory, no pun intended, that comes with both of these candidates, if you will. And let's keep it simple. I'll just focus on the first. News came out late last week that Instagram thought, I'm going to mispronounce it, I believe it's AJ, is how she is known online.
Boy, I would not have said that. I'm glad
I wasn't thinking that either, but now that I look at it again, that looks like
No, I
AJ.
think that is right. I'm glad you.
Yeah, AYYEJAYE. Busty Curvy Thought, who apparently also has an OnlyFans, did a NBA podcast called No Jumper, which I'm sure is, average, great, good, whatever. I think
those are the dudes. Oh, yeah, actually, I don't know who No
I have
Jumper
no
is,
idea who
actually.
it is.
Yeah,
So
sorry, I take it
I'm
back.
not even talking shit out of place. I just don't know. and basically told a story that she basically recanted
I just
hooking up with an NBA Suns staff member.
Okay.
And while that was going on, NBA players began to enter the room, and she was like, okay, I just slept with this one. I won't do that, but I will service the rest of you gentlemen. And that number got up to 7. She didn't list that it was the Suns at that time, but as questions got out on Twitter, she is very active in her replies. So warning, don't jump out into the sun if you don't expect like her to respond and your wife to see it. She confirmed that it was the Suns. She confirmed that Devin Booker was involved.
Oh,
and then
come
she
on.
later said, well, it was 2 years ago. He was single at the time, because you may or may not know that Devin Booker is now involved with one of the Jenner girls, I think Kendall.
Okay.
So-
The
Wait,
podcast
my
host
brain exploded.
gave her an out to be like, are you like
Multiple times.
like embarrassed? Like kind of one of those type of questions. She was like, her response was, no, I don't care. It was lit. That was her response. Like,
She's
Dude,
okay.
I love that.
go for it.
I
girl.
liked she was on with another. I dare say a thought, because based on this woman's appearance.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, she's so shy." And
Yeah.
the
Is
host
she?
was like, "She's not shy.
She just talking about
admitted
sucking
to
off
essing
7
off
guys.
7 dudes."
Dude, this had to have been the biggest.
Are we talking? Are we having the same conversation here?
This podcast, what a lick they hit.
Yeah, like
man.
what does not shy look like to this girl?
I want to see what their listens did. Good for them.
What's she like after a couple cocktails?
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
You know, if the inhibitions go down.
gets a lot of play on. Yeah. Anyways, so she parlayed this into. I guess she had an OnlyFans account going into this, and it went from having like a couple $100 or I don't know how that whole world works.
Okay.
That's how
I'm
you
just
launch.
So ignorant. But apparently she's making like over 100K in like 12 days over this exposure.
Shouts to her.
So
Goodness.
Get money.
big crown emoji, splash emoji to Instagram thought AJ, the bubble baddie of the week. Although this didn't take place in the bubble, I'm gonna count it.
Can you comment on OnlyFans? Because I want to get one for her and just put, you drop this queen, crown emoji.
I think that's like the whole. I think it's very similar to Patreon. But you would have to pay to play, so to speak. So,
Well, Micah, we look forward to you. Are you going to give us access to your OnlyFans? What if your OnlyFans is just you doing the power plant?
You know, it's not a bad idea.
You could get at least 100 people to sign up for
I
that.
got to put it behind a paywall somehow. Why
So
not?
this
Why not OF?
paywall power plant.
This young lady is different from the next one listed here, or is it the same person?
Throatzilla's a
Yeah.
whole different deal.
How do you think Throatzilla got that nickname, David?
I don't know, man. It's just esophagus game on point. All I know is my throat has been scratchy since yesterday, and I
You
think
need
it's
a
from
visit from Throatzilla.
oh, are we doing the Throatzilla story?
Well, Dylan,
Yeah, I think-
Dylan was.
I'm
Dylan
sorry.
just
it's on the
went there.
rundown. What
Yeah,
are you gonna do?
no.
Let's
we're
get to
fine.
it.
I'll throw this out here. So all
thought
of
I
you are
was teeing
aware
up
of
for
Throatzilla.
somebody.
No, I apologize. I didn't take it back off of here. Are the three of you gentlemen aware of who Throatzilla
I have
is?
no
I'm
idea.
unfamiliar.
I
Okay.
can honestly say, and I feel
In
proud
a
about it.
hashtag
Not for
nutshell
long.
here, Throatzilla is a Dallas, if you will, call girl that does not have any intercourse. She is only available for one thing.
I
name
can imagine.
Can help you understand. A part of the one thing that she does, which she will not charge you for typically, is that she will also something to do with the salad, but she does that because she likes it. That's just an
That's
extra-
only if she
extra
likes
bump.
you.
The story has it about 3 years ago, Cowboys offensive lineman Lyle Collins.
Allegedly.
I don't know.
Well,
Had services from her, which included her, enjoyment or extra touch, and he didn't pay her. And so
bonus
her
dip?
rule is she is full some bonus dip, if you will. She will not out you or talk about it in public, lest you not pay her. That is her tool to do so.
I feel like he had the funds.
My rule too.
Throatzilla went on to Twitter, which she is findable out there. Again, do not tweet at her if you do not expect to be responded to.
Throatzilla.
And tweeted out that she is, you can find her at Orally Gifted. She is in Orlando, ellipsis, to which someone replied, "Are you in the bubble?" And she responded back with a screenshot of a text exchange between her and a player that I'm going to walk on eggshells here to make sure this can stay up on YouTube. Asking the player, hey, how do I get into the bubble? Or can you leave the bubble? And he's like, nope. And she's like, well, somebody could put me on the list as their sister or something. And when that was declined, she also said, well, can't you just walk to the edge of the bubble and just hang your thing out of the bubble?
Turn it up.
Oh,
That's a valid question.
Ingenuity.
Innovation on the part of Throatzilla.
So
This
who
young
knows?
man. I love it.
Who knows what she's up to? But she is there, and
Dude, I did not realize
Hustling.
she was a Dallas.
oh, very much so Dallas based.
Hell yeah.
Do you have an emoji for her?
I will say that her work is viewable on the internet, and she's known to wear like one of those leather ski mask looking things to protect her identity whilst doing whatever.
Whilst.
While I don't know.
Lyle.
And so I will go with 1, 2, 3, 4 jester mask emojis for one Throatzilla. Your bubble baddies of the week.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I should have deleted that off.
no, I'm sorry.
you shouldn't.
Look, I'm sorry about it up, but it was on rundown, so I thought I was teeing it up for somebody
no,
to knock
that's-
out of the park, and
Yeah.
This is only
And then-
going to enhance their
and now-
followers.
now we all know a lot more about Throatzilla.
You want to get into some quick tips? Oh, you know what? One more thing. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Let's just do some quick tips.
I want my chips with the dip.
DJ. I didn't watch any golf yesterday, but he went absolutely off. Says here he lit the world on fire. Friday, the most disappointing 60 you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
I know
29 on the
that's
front.
kind of cliche to like mock the guy for shooting 60, but like he was legit on like 58 watch for a while.
He missed it like a 6-footer that would have been a 59.
And this is the same day.
And he laid up on 18, which was a par 5 too.
I think he had right. Didn't he have a bad lie? I can't remember. I was watching it on
Does
my
it matter?
phone. It doesn't.
Sorry.
He shot 30 under.
Yeah, he won by 11 this weekend. That's pretty good.
It was
11
absurd.
strokes.
Tiger did sneaky shoot 66 yesterday. I guess that's gonna get some people excited. Not me. Whatever. I wish he would just not play again until whatever the next major is. I don't need to see my Tiger in the FedEx playoffs personally, but whatever. Let's see. 77 false positives in the NFL. That's scary. The false positive thing freaks me out.
Yeah. Apparently, these all went to the same lab in New Jersey.
Aren't they using multiple labs? Isn't it like the NFL like have a weird?
I don't know if like certain teams are all going to the same lab, but most of these came from Buffalo, I think, the Bills, and then they all came back negative. So who knows what's really happening? But that seems scary.
The testing, who really knows at this
Who
point?
knows?
Yeah. Earl Thomas released by the Ravens.
Headed to Dallas? Jim?
Cowboys are the betting favorite.
Jim?
Is
Is Dallas in need of a safety right now?
they didn't really do anything in the offseason to shore that up.
Okay.
The Ravens put out a very weird statement.
He
Like,
got in a fight.
Yeah, he punched some dude, right?
He got in a fight, and he got in a fight last year with but fights in practice happen. He must have just not been liked. I mean, he had some offseason issues involving
Right. Was he
just
ever
some wild ass stuff?
was he
in
ever
Austin.
problematic off the field before this in his career? Because I don't to be having just
No,
I
I don't think he's ever had any legal issues.
A weird run of bad.
And he wasn't the one who got the legal issues from. It was, I believe, his wife,
Yeah.
who I think is accused of holding him at gunpoint.
Maybe we'll see him back at the gym. We used to see him all the time.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Him and Michael Griffin. Yeah, I don't, dude. The Cowboys absolutely should at least talk to him.
gotta kick the tires.
Mike
He's only
McCarthy was a
31.
little bit mum
He's
on
got a
it.
couple more years in him
Yeah,
good years in him.
that he tweeted out like a Ravens video that I guess is supposed to like exonerate him. I watched it over and over and I can't figure out what I'm looking at because it's not actually video of the fight.
this is my favorite tweet from yesterday from the great Robert Littall from Black Sports Online, who posted this photo of Jerry that just says how Jerry Jones is coming to meet Earl Thomas at the airport, the classic Jerry with the
Jerry's
questionable
not
ladies.
meeting anybody at the airport.
No.
He might. He's done it before.
I expect him to be a Cowboy before the end of the week. I'll say it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Look, I wouldn't hate it.
Jerry's got to flex his muscle. Even if McCarthy doesn't want it, it would be very Jerry just to bring him in. Jerry's a big second chance guy. And again, it's not like he did anything that absurd. He hasn't had any legal issues. It's all about just team chemistry, which that's something they got to think about. But the defense could use a veteran safety, especially one that's like, a former All-Pro. Former Austin High? Where'd he go to high school?
No, he's from Orange.
That's Griffin.
East Texas. No, Griffin went to Bowie High School.
Okay, I'm 0 for 2. I'll just fuck off.
Yeah.
Pro football is supposed to start soon. Like 3 weeks away now, I think.
I've said that it can't get here soon enough.
Thursday, September 10th is kickoff. That's not far away.
No.
Per sources, Dak looks good. I don't know how that makes y'all feel.
CD's looking real strong. Let's just talk Dallas sports.
Just a hyper niche Dallas sports podcast. Yeah. Look, I don't know. We get college football next week.
Goodness gracious. It couldn't get here soon enough, and now it's almost here.
A lot of people are saying T-State's going to upset SMU.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's happening.
I don't know what that line looks like, but I would hammer the Cats.
Where's that game?
Nobody knows for sure. I haven't really been following. I've been following Duncanville more than I've been following T-State. But things are looking up. Got Spivak at the helm, steering the ship. I like it. I don't know how a Cole Campbell story got put in here, but we've got a Cole Campbell quick dip.
Well, we were talking about tailgating.
He did an IG story drinking beer moses and said he was booming off of them. You know what a beer mosa is, Dave?
Yeah. Explain it.
It's beer and orange juice is what it is. It's a mimosa, but you swap the champagne for beer. I've actually had one.
If you're Cole Campbell, you just drink half a beer, then you pour orange juice into your Budweiser can, and you drink it, and then you say you're booming off them.
That's the Cole Campbell way. But actually, I had these at the Natty Light tent in Augusta, Georgia. Have you heard of that? There's a golf course there. Not bad. Weirdly not bad. You ever had one? No? You said no?
I don't think I have. I've got a neighbor who drinks Chelada.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the tomato-based or whatever beer. And he let me try one. I know that's completely different than what you're referring to here, but I just want to point out that
it's not totally different. It's sort of because some people have they call them breakfast beers, and they'll mix Bloody Mary mix with beer or Clamato or whatever. And so instead of orange juice, you get tomato juice. That's a thing that some people do for breakfast.
Have you ever? Did I ever tell you the story about college? Like I would go pick Dylan up for class, and Dylan, we went out pretty hard the night before, and Dylan would be like pouring beer in his cereal, just eating Wheaties with beer. I was like, dude, you were fucking wild.
Dude, this guy's so frat.
Dude, you were fratty.
Gosh, it doesn't get.
Did you guys ever take lunchbox shots?
What's that?
That's a Oklahoma City thing. Edna's. Shout out Edna's.
I'm unfamiliar with that, but basically it's a beer. And then it's sort of like a Jaeger bomb setup where you dump a shot into the beer. So you have a beer, and then it's a mix between orange juice and I think it's amaretto, and you drop it into the beer, and then you chug the whole thing. It's actually quite tasty.
Really?
That's the only mix of orange juice and beer I'm familiar with.
What is the appropriate name for the what is sometimes problematically referred to as the Irish car bomb? Because the only reason I'm bringing that up is because it tastes really good. That's like my favorite thing to. If I'm going to do something like that, that's going to absolutely.
I'm not even sure what's in an Irish car bomb. Now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever. I've had one.
Guinness with a shot of Bailey's whiskey and Kahlua.
Okay.
Yeah, Bailey's cream.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise known as an Irish slammer.
A Dublin drop is
or
what
Dublin
you want to
drop.
call it.
That's probably
dropping
fair.
A bomb shot of Irish cream and whiskey into a glass of a stout. Okay. Don't call it an Irish car bomb. If you call it that over there, though, I've always heard the story of somebody doing that, and then they respond back with, "Oh, would you like a 9/11 shot instead?"
Ooh,
yeah.
Don't do that.
You know what, man? IRA, it's a real thing over there, so don't say that. But it is a really poundable beverage. I'm a stout boy. Everybody knows that.
Hashtag poundable.
Hashtag poundable.
But gosh, that's to Cole Campbell, man.
Yeah, he's
really
gone off.
He's
full
really doing
moses.
Dude, I can't believe KJ had the nerve to take a business call mid-pod. Like, do we need to stick around and talk to him about this?
Yeah.
People are probably wondering why he's just disappeared. He wasn't let go mid-pod for too many bubble butt baddie thought talks, so I don't know.
The Throatzilla discussion.
Thus concludes quick dips.
Too far.
You got any more quick dips? Nah, we're good.
No.
Let's get horny.
when my team wins a big game, it's good. But when my team doesn't win the big game, you better look out, Buster. I'm a loose cannon. This is not good at all.
Randy's behind Micah, like mouthing it. Like he has the shitto quote memorized.
It is good.
This is easy for me. I mean, like, I'm sports privileged at this point. I've got something going every night, I think, until
Yeah, it must be nice, man.
Yeah. So I mean, right now I'm horny for hockey. Tomorrow I'll be horny for Luka.
I'm horny for late night West Coast Golden Knights hockey.
I thought you were gonna say Rangers baseball.
No, hell no, absolutely not. I think I'm done watching them the rest of the season.
I don't think they've won a game in like 2 weeks.
It's not fun watching them play baseball. At
The
this point.
Padres made them like the joke of every butt in the league.
Yeah,
the butt of every joke.
You never
want to
give up a grand slam in 4 straight games.
Get swept.
Yeah.
Although the Padres did just sweep the Astros.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't hate that at all.
Tatis is now like the darling of the MLB. He's like the face guy of the league. He's badass. We just look like babies.
He's a monster. Yeah.
But we're not here to talk baseball.
It's fun to have that guy on your team. No, yeah, I'm 4 out of 5 eggplants for Golden Knights hockey. Playoff hockey's fun to watch, and I'm not even like a super hockey fan, but it's just tight, man.
Give me 5 eggplant emojis for hoops. I like the Blazers to beat the Lakers tonight. I'll just say it.
Was Dame out? What's going on?
I don't know, but I like them. It's happening tonight, assuming Dame is playing. That's a big question. Actually, I'll take it back. I didn't know. I think he's fine. And then Clippers Mavs on Tuesday. I mean, those 2 games alone enough to get me there.
I said Clippers in 6. I think when we did this a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I still think if I had to put money on it, the Clippers are going to win the series. But I feel, dude, if the Mavs fucked around and ran off 2 in a row right here, I would not be shocked, especially if KP's back. He had the weird scratch before game, yesterday, and I think he's going to be back. He looked really depressed on the bench. Like, he's a team guy, but you could tell it was killing him to not be out there. And he's going to have that soft label because people already think, he's not durable, and plus he's a Euro, so I think he'll be out there. So I think I'm going to give that, 5 birthday cakes? Is that my thing?
Yeah,
you're
a cake
guy.
I got really distracted. I'm sorry.
That's a lot of
I
cake.
shouldn't have Twitter open when I'm doing this. I don't know how Will does it.
You on Mavs Twitter right now? You just can't get enough.
Yeah, kind of. I'm kind of bummed that we're not going to find out what KJ's age for, personally.
That's a shame.
Yeah. It's probably not that different than what I just said.
Probably not.
Combat Sports Minute?
Yeah.
Frankie Edgar. It's the only fight I watched all weekend. Did you watch it?
I did.
We were
I did.
Dan.
Yeah. Frankie Edgar, 38 years old, moved down in weight class to bantamweight. Normally, older guys move up in weight class. He moved down to 135. He spent most of his career at 155. Has fought at 145, now at 135. Beat Pedro Munoz. Looked very impressive. He's fun to watch. He's just so technical. Really enjoyed it.
Great fight. Great hands.
I didn't watch a lot of boxing this weekend, but I did see a lot of boxing on Twitter. There were a couple of really awesome violent knockouts.
That
and
dude's lights
I
got
loved
turned
it.
off.
Yeah,
I don't
big
even
uppercut.
remember his name, but
you can see that one. It's embedded. It's my knockout of the week during Micah's Read of the Week newsletter.
That is an amazing plug. I have to no choice but to stand. One funny thing when we're watching these fights and like texting with Dan about them, I'm always like, man, why is Dan like we'll be like, no, I think Frankie looks good. Like Frankie's winning this fight, and Dan's like, no, I don't know. And then you remember that Dan bet the other guy, so you got to be careful. Like you don't want Dan he lost, and you don't want to like kick a horse while it's down, but you're like so. Having gambling guy in your group text is always a nice addition, but you got to be careful. Eggshell sometimes. You don't want to hurt.
The officiate or the refereeing in MMA has been so inconsistent recently, really always, that you never know when there's a guy who's on the take. So just like having a guy who has a serious interest in one side winning like Dan, it's actually perhaps insightful, as that was a split decision too.
Yeah. Anything on Dana White speaking at the RNC?
No, he's running it back. He did it. He did it last time.
He did it last time.
It was. I remember watching it the last time in front of the crowd, and he got up and was like, "What's up, RNC?" and the crowd they didn't really know how to react. It was different than he
Like
walked.
it was a pre-fight,
yeah,
promotional.
he walked out just like he does during the weigh-in, like,
Yeah.
what's up, UFC? Joe Rogan is here. But it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same.
I got to say, like, so Dana White is somebody who positions himself as a huge Rage Against the Machine fan. He, like, if you listen in the background in between fights, there's Rage playing. He wears Rage T-shirts. And I don't think he's ever listened to a single Rage lyric because that doesn't really jive. I know maybe you can listen to the music and not, like, agree with the message, but, like, it's not subtle. Every
Kind of what they're all about.
Every line is pretty much Marxist, the opposite of what they stand for, of what Dana White stands for. So it's just, I always found that funny because he rocks Rage Against the Machine gear. That's one of my favorite bands of all time. So also Dana White's calling out Oscar De La Hoya for cocaine again. Just a cheap shot. It's personal at this point.
I mean, Dana. Nobody does cheap shots like Dana. It's fun to watch. The story here, I think Oscar De La Hoya is 47. He's apparently coming out of retirement, and somebody asked Dana what he thought about that, and Dana just said, well, cocaine isn't cheap.
Wow.
Well, and he's not wrong about that.
Factually accurate.
Why is he taking shots at him?
They don't like each other.
Did he, were they, was Golden Boy, did they do the, no, that was TMT. I was thinking the Floyd Connor deal, if they were.
No, they got squeezed out of that.
That's
and
right.
then they did the Golden Boy did one MMA fight between Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz in
Great
2018,
fight.
which
Everybody asked for that fight.
yeah. And then they just stopped doing MMA.
Oh, that's so sad.
It was bad.
You want to run it back?
Let's run it back. There we go.
Okay. We're going to edit that out.
Great.
That was just awful.
It's time for Run It Back, the segment in which we discuss what we previously discussed. Nobody smoked anything this weekend, bitch. KJ did reverse sear a steak, though. People know that Dorn can knock a steak out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Hawthorne tailors your cologne just for you. Promo code BANG.
New sponsor. alert.
Love that. Added value.
First time sponsor.
The Lil Stars started scoring and cannot stop. Dave is 5 cakes. H for Luka. Someone please alert Mike Breen that the double bang should be saved exclusively for the playoffs.
Agree.
KJ said that MJ's game winner was an easier shot compared to Luka's. Luka's over here filming TikTok videos. Sneaky shouts to Trey Burke. I don't know. Forgot about that.
Michigan's own.
Probably wasn't the most important thing that we talked about today.
That's okay.
KJ did not apologize to Dave for calling him a bitch-ass white boy.
He didn't. Oh, KJ just heard that. He did not really call me that. That was just a little humor. We do on TMD sometimes.
Dave had fun yesterday watching hoops. Luka is a killer.
Certified.
Micah would like to see what a double bang looks like.
Of course
You sure you don't know?
That's
pervert.
It's not. We were talking about Mike Breen, but
Okay.
KJ's bubble baddie of the week is AJ. Big crown emoji and splash emoji to her. Throatzilla is findable on Twitter at orally gifted. Her work is viewable on the internet, and she gets 4 jester mask emojis from KJ. Dylan used to eat Wheaties with beer in his in college.
Not true.
And Dana White has never listened to the words of Rage Against the Machine.
He doesn't. He just stops after this microphone explodes.
And that was Run It Back.
Thank you,
Man,
Micah.
that was fun.
Dude, KJ's in there with the headset on, just pounding away. Does he bring 2 computers to this? Good for him.
Yeah.
Oh, what a bummer.
That's a
man.
businessman.
People are going to be sad we didn't get to close out with KJ. That concludes, what is that, our 6th episode?
That was number 6.
Holy
Dude,
shnikes.
I think that went
That's
well.
the Avery Johnson episode.
We're going to, yeah. Wait, what does that even mean? Oh.
He wore number 6.
I thought you meant it would underwhelmed as a coach. I thought that's what you were referring to there. We'll be back next Monday.
I got it in my head one time that his nickname was the Roach, and I said that.
What?
I said that during a podcast, and people looked like I was crazy about it. I thought it was a well-known thing.
I thought he was the little general.
That's what I always knew him as.
The Roach.
The Roach. I didn't come up with it. I heard it, and I thought it was common knowledge. So I said it one time on, I think it was, what's your
On
podcast?
Backdoor Cover? The sports podcast I
Forgot the
do?
name of my old
There
podcast.
was a song in
and y'all were like, what are you talking about?
8th grade
Oh.
middle school football. We'd sing this song, and it would just be like, "We got a center who eats your dinner," and then the last line was, "We got a coach. He looked like a roach," and everybody would just like everybody be like, "Oh shit, did he hear?" And like look over to see if the coach heard.
Anyway, shouts to Avery
He did look
Johnson.
shout out to Coach Dean, not the most handsome guy, but not a roach.
I saw
roach.
I saw Avery Johnson at SeaWorld one time when I was like in 6th grade. He was wearing jorts and he was thick.
Yeah.
He had legs like a
stout.
linebacker. Yeah, stout.
Looks like
He
a
was a
boxer.
thick boy. Yeah, yeah.
Shouts to Avery Johnson.
Shouts to Avery Johnson. All right.
Had a smooth little left-handed running J.
Yeah, he was the little general, the little roach, as you
Yeah.
call him.
Just the roach. Anyway, let's get out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
I want my chips with the dip, that's all I know. I don't want my chips plain, I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.
Bang! Bang! It's good! This will only enhance his followers.